Ahoy mates! Welcome on board Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas. We are here for a 7-night sailing to Alaska round trip from Seattle. So if you're interested in seeing our daily videos from the Alaska area, the Seattle area, or a full tour of our room, be sure to check out our full and complete playlist for Quantum of the Seas, Alaska, Seattle, all that jazz, which you can find linked in the description of this video. But for today's video, I want to take you around and give you a full and complete tour of all of the public areas on board Quantum of the Seas. So not staterooms, but all the public areas that you as a guest can access when you come on board this ship. There's a lot to see, so let's go ahead and get it started. You know how I like to do it. Let's start down at the bottom and work our way up deck by deck. So let's go ahead and get it started. Our tour of Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas begins right now. Alright, deck 2 is where we begin. There is no public deck 1 on this ship, as you can see here on our layout. It goes all the way down to 2, but that is the bottom. So here on deck 2, the only two things we'll find: boarding area, so when you're getting on board from a port or disembarking at a port, you'll come down here, and also here off of the midship elevators and stairs, find the medical center. So when you come down to deck 2, you'll start seeing signs like this or this that point you in the right direction. So you just follow those, and that takes you into the entrance to the medical center. If you have any medical emergencies or you need any health care, this is where you're gonna come. Right through there, they have their hours of operation posted on the door. And that does it for deck 2. We're gonna move up to deck 3. Kicking off deck 3 now, we are at the midship elevators and stairs, as you can see here. So we're gonna have a couple things in the aft part of the ship, and then we're gonna kind of move through the middle because the perimeter portions are going to be staterooms. So we'll start here, go through the middle. And as we make our way back, you see the sign up there does say restaurants, help pointing you in the right direction of things. You'll also find these digital touch screens at all the elevator and stairwell locations, or most of them. You can touch them, get today's information like the weather, the date, the time, what upcoming events there are. You can also use it as a deck map and a wayfinder to help you navigate where you need to go to. And we see the placards outside here, the Grande Restaurant and Chic. These are 2 of the main dining rooms on board, so you enter both of them from the same central area right off of the midship elevators and stairs here on deck 3. And then you enter to the left for Chic and to the right for the Grande Restaurant. You can get inside there. It's a typical main dining room setup. But they do have windows, which is nice. And on the other side, the Grande is also set up like a typical main dining room, but it has a much different theme, a bit more, I guess, elegant. And between the 2 restaurants, there is this stairwell here in the center that you can take up to deck 4. We're not going to do that though. We're going to turn it back around and cut through the midship elevator area to head towards the forward part of deck 3. And the first thing we find is the entrance to Casino Royale. Of course, this is the casino on board, and I don't know how much I'll be able to film of it because it is open right now. So I'm just gonna kind of keep it moving, but they do have all your standard slot machines. This stairwell does go up into the Esplanade. We'll get to that in just a little bit. ATM, table games, all that kind of stuff all throughout here. It's very narrow, so it's a quick shot. There's a bar in the center here. So it doesn't spread out very wide, but it just kind of runs this entire central span of deck 3. And then you kind of get this hallway entrance and exit part here when you come out, where it's a lot more narrow. And once we exit Casino Royale, we will find the entrance to Music Hall. We're over on the starboard side, by the way, but we will find the entrance to Music Hall here. This is currently closed to a private event, but we can still see inside if we head up a little bit further. So you see they have the bar out here in the back that you can walk right up to, and then it's open right into the main area where they have all the chairs and the seating, and then they have the stage area centrally located there in the middle. Now there is an upstairs portion to Music Hall as well. We'll see when we get up to deck 4. But it kind of just does wrap around, and then you have these doors here to enter as well to get back into the main space. And here at the forward elevator bay, there are also doors to enter into Music Hall, and you can see that's where they have the sign that says private function. So checking back in on our map of deck 3, we saw the 2 main dining room restaurants in the back. Then we proceeded forward into Casino Royale, and you see again on the starboard side, that's where the break is, where you'll come out of the casino through the music hall area and then here to the front. And that's it besides staterooms. So we're done with deck 3, moving up to 4. All right, deck 4 is where things start to get a lot busier. Quite a few things to see on this deck. We're at the forward elevators, so we're going to turn around here, and we will find either on the port side or on the starboard side, the very colorful entrances to the Royal Theater. Now the theater is currently closed, but I did stop in the other day, get a couple of shots of it. So as you can see, it is a multi-deck theater, 2 stories tall, and they'll have Broadway style shows, different performances, headliners, things like that, all inside the Royal Theater. Now referencing back to the map, we see the Royal Theater here with the 2 entrances. Now there is something over here on the starboard side, kind of just duck in, and then once we're done with that, we'll kind of go back port side. That's where we'll take this hallway down out. So let's turn around here to the starboard side, and just outside the entrance to the Royal Theater on the starboard side, we will find the entrance to the Diamond Club. So if you're a Diamond, Diamond Plus, or Pinnacle level member of the Crown and Anchor Society, Royal Caribbean's loyalty program, you'll have access to the Diamond Club. Let's take a quick look inside. We don't want to disturb. So you see, it's just a nice little lounge area. You do have some windows over there so you can see outside. The desk for concierge help if you need any assistance. And then in the mornings, usually they will have kind of a continental breakfast, pastries and yogurts and meats and cheeses, things like that spread out here. Also have a specialty coffee machine, get hot chocolate, things like that. Now next to the entrance to the Diamond Club, we will turn and we can actually access the upper level of Music Hall, which is currently open. So let's head inside and take a look. And the same with downstairs, you're going to find chairs and tables and couches and loungers and all kinds of things spread throughout the space here. Up top, though, we will have several billiards tables. You can see they have over there, as well as some windows to see back outside. They have TVs mounted up here, too. Sometimes they play live sports or, live TV events, and sometimes they broadcast whatever's happening downstairs in Music Hall. So you can hear the music, but you may not be able to see it. You have the TV so you can check out what's happening. And here in the center area, they also have a very large bar, double-sided, and another billiards table tucked up over in that side. And then the chairs and the tables and loungers all just continue around, and it's open air down to the main level of the music hall. So when there's a performance, you can hear it, you can see it if you're sitting up here, and get a great idea how it's all laid out here. Alright, I've circled back around to the elevator bay. You can see Royal Theater entrances back up there. You can go back into Music Hall over here to the starboard side, but we're going to turn around and walk back down the port side. But first, we do have some shops to show here. This is the collection, so they have sunglasses, as the sign says, and other random pieces of jewelry. And then over by the port side entrance to the Royal Theater is where we'll start to find all of the different shops on board that we're about to pass, starting with this one, which is the fragrance store. It looks like they also have different kind of lotions and creams and dermal solutions. Then we'll have Prince and Green, or Prince Plus Green, I don't know. Looks like they're serving up Alaska items right now. We are on an Alaskan sailing, so that makes a lot of sense. A lot of stuffed animals, bags, t-shirts, things of that nature. Ha! Pun. Next up we have Luxury Leather, serving up different kinds of bags and shoes, even some sunglasses and hats inside of there as well. And then we'll find Beauty Avenue, so beauty products, I guess. I don't know, fragrances maybe, lotions, looks like some perfumes, colognes and stuff down there. And next we have Regalia, fine watches, pretty much tells you everything you need to know in the name, watches and other kinds of jewelry inside. And that continues on down. It's a very large store, lots of items inside. And even more jewelry selections down here at the end. And that will do it for our line of shops. Again, on the port side, exiting the Royal Theater area, entering the Royal Esplanade, which we'll get to in just a minute. And actually what I want to point out is the Esplanade is going to be kind of like a circle or an oval. We're going to have to come back around the same way. But we're going to turn around here because one thing we kind of missed is the Harp and Horn pub. So this is pretty self-explanatory. It is a pub. You can come in and get a pint, get your different drinks. There's the dark hardwoods, leather seats, different things like that. They do have a little stage for performance area here in the evening. They have televisions which will often show live sports on them. And then you can also order food here as well. A lot of people don't know about that. It's kind of like a little hidden menu you can find. You can order different pub favorites. They do come at an additional cost, but they're usually pretty tasty. And the pub also offers seating out on the Esplanade itself. So you don't have to eat inside, you can actually sit out here as well and receive service from the pub. So now we begin our grand circle tour of the Royal Esplanade. So yes, normally on Royal Caribbean ships this is called a promenade. On Quantum class ships it's called an esplanade. So we're gonna go down the port side here and circle back up the starboard side. So we saw the jewelry shops and all that, it ends right there. And the next thing we have up is the cafe, and that is La Patisserie. So this is essentially the cafe promenade on this ship. It's a great place to come and get specialty coffee. They do have some Starbucks items in here as well. You can see it's very busy because it's the morning time. You can often get some pastries and things like that as well. And next door to La Patisserie, we will find Port Merchants, which is going to be serving up alcohol and different kind of snacks in the back, little sundry items, anything you might need. Now past that we will find the entrance to Boleros, which they have set up for a Park West art auction right now. But at night it will be a hopping Latin nightclub lounge. And now we've reached the other side. So a couple things I want to point out. First of all, there is a stairwell here that goes down. You can see the casino down there that goes right into it, as well as one that goes up to the upper level of the Esplanade. We'll get to that in a while. I did want to point out, like we mentioned, they have the art auction set up, so you'll see things like this throughout the day, different kind of days. Different days will have different kind of events, I should say. And in the middle, they will often be selling different specials on merchandise, like t-shirts or watches, things like that. So it can get very busy, as you can see here in the middle. Now we're going to turn and head back up the Esplanade on this deck on the starboard side. And the first thing we'll find is guest services. So if you have any issues, you need assistance with anything at all, this is where you will want to come. You can see they have all the desks set up here on the perimeter. And I wanted to point out that this is the Loyalty Ambassador desk, kind of tucked up here in the corner. So if you have questions about Crown and Anchor Society or anything like that, this is the desk you want to come to. There's also an ATM right here next to guest services, and they also have them in the casino down below. So next in line is going to be the Coach Shop, which is pretty self-explanatory. He's selling, I guess, different Coach items, but also other brands as well, bags and different kinds of things. Oh, and one thing I kind of missed, it's tucked up in between the ATM and the Coach Shop. We actually have the shop. You see the Crown and Anchor there. So this is going to be selling Royal Caribbean items, Crown and Anchor logo items, or different things for your specific cruise ship or the sailing that you're on. T-shirts, hoodies, figurines, miniature ships, toys, things like that. All right, next in line, we will find everyone's favorite pizza place, Sorrento's. But before that, we actually have the entrance to Cafe Promenade. So I said that the La Patisserie was kind of like the Cafe Promenade, but this is actually the Cafe Promenade. They basically split it up into two on these Quantum class ships. So you can just get regular and decaf coffee here. The specialty coffees would be over across there. And then they have all like the tea packets and hot chocolate packets, things like that. And then in the morning, they'll have yogurts and fruits, pastries, later in the day sandwiches, different things like that. And this is usually open 24/7, so you can come in here if you're hungry. They also have a beverage station, so in the morning they'll be serving juices, like they have apple and orange right now. Later in the day it might be lemonade, fruit punch, or a flavored water. They also have tap water right there as well. And now we head into Sorrento's. This is the complimentary pizza venue on board, included with your cruise fare, of course. So you just grab in the line right here. They usually have an antipasti section right here, and then they'll have the different pizzas out during the day. So usually starting in the late morning, early afternoon, they'll have those out, and it runs very late at night. They usually have things like pepperoni, cheese, and vegetable every day, and then they'll have a special that rotates throughout the different days, and they'll have all the condiments out here as well. Red pepper flakes, oregano, cheese, things like that. And then you have lots of seating options in here as well, even some booths and some bar rail seating looking out the windows. So that's going to do it for the lower deck of the Royal Esplanade, but we're not done with this deck number 4. We're gonna have to go to the back and finish that up. So as we exit the Royal Promenade, I did want to point out, you'll see the VOOM Fastest Internet at Sea desk there. If you need assistance with your Wi-Fi package, that's where you can find it. They'll also have photo opportunities here in the evening. So if you want to dress up and get that special photo made, this is one spot they will do it. I like these art walls they do on the different Quantum class ships. Very cool stuff. Now we are heading through the midship elevators and stairs. I'm going to continue on to the back. And what we will find are the next two main dining restaurants, the American Icon Grill and Silk. So just like the Grande or Chic down below, these are main dining room restaurants that just kind of have a different theme. They're a different setup. I'll just show you the entrance really quick. You can see the different theming already starting as we begin to enter. Silk's going to have that Asian style flair. American Icon Grill is going to be basically based on cars. You can see kind of like the headlights and stuff there. And then it's just a main dining room. Then they have the windows on the side and over here as well, but a much different style and different decor. All right, let's recap on our map because that was a lot to see. So we had the Royal Theater at the front. It says the Golden Room, but it's actually the Diamond Lounge now over here on the side. Top level of Music Hall. Then we started all those shops in a row, came out, and then we toured the Esplanade. So we had La Patisserie, Boleros, guest services on the other side. Those different shops, Cafe Promenade, Sorrento's, the pub there in the middle. And then we came back to see the two main dining room restaurants. So we are done with Deck 4. Let's head up and begin Deck 5. All right, Deck 5 now, and just like Deck 4, there are a lot of different things to see here. So we are at the midship elevators and stairs. We're gonna turn and complete the aft portion of the deck first. And you see the sign there pointing us in the right direction. And as we head towards the back, I wanted to point out there are a lot of butterfly art installations on this ship, which are very nice, and you even have the digital ones up there above. All right, we enter this kind of rotunda area. The first thing we're going to find on the right is Jamie's Italian. Now, this is a specialty dining restaurant, so it does come at an additional cost, but it's presented by Jamie Oliver, celebrity chef, and you'll have some delicious pasta, different kind of Italian foods, meat planks, things like that you can get there. One thing I will point out is that they do have windows, so if you're excited about getting a window seat, don't get too excited because it looks right out at the lifeboats, so you really don't have much of a view there, but at least you can get some natural light during the day. They also have tables out here as well, actually on the thoroughfare area. Now, next to Jamie's Italian, we will find Vintages, which is the wine bar on board. You can see the bar there, centrally located. And then they're going to have comfortable seating throughout. Some different tables. Come in, get a glass of wine, get some other kind of drinks, relax, chill, socialize, whatever you'd like. Now, across from Vintages and Jamie's Italian, we will find some more jewelry shops here. So these are separated from the ones that are down in the Esplanade, but it's kind of selling similar items, sunglasses and jewelry, different things like that. So as you're heading back, you kind of hit a dead end on the port side because you have Jamie's Italian and then Vintages. You can't go any further. So you have to come over to the starboard side and proceed back the rest of the way, starting with the next cruise desk. So this is where you're going to want to come and book your next cruise. They'll take great care of you here, get you set up on that next adventure. Even if you don't know which one you want to go on, you can put your deposit down. You'll have 2 months to choose that sailing and get that onboard credit and that special offering. And you can look at the different flyers they have out here to figure out which next voyage you would like to take. And you're going to get a really great offer. People always ask, is it worth it? Absolutely, because you're going to get the same offer that you would get back on land, where you're going to get reduced deposits, you're going to get some onboard credit. You really can't beat it. So definitely hit up the next cruise desk, and they can send it to us as your travel agents right here at the desk. They'll get that all set up for you. Now, proceeding back, we have the rest of the next cruise desk here on the left side, and the seating for Vintages on the right side. And we'll keep heading back. And it looks like they have set up this little area here as the shopping desk, so there's a lot of shopping information, their hours of operation. If you need to talk to the shopping expert for your cruise, that's where you'll find them. And it looks like this used to be the internet assistance desk, but they've relocated, at least for right now. So it kind of had that mobile desk we saw. They had that out there yesterday as well, so maybe, I guess, at certain times it's kind of located out there, and then at other times it'll actually be here at this desk next to next cruise. All right, continuing on back. All right, next up we will find the Park West desk. So we saw them setting up for the art auction in Balearos area. This is their actual desk though, so if you need to come talk to them about purchasing some art, this is where you'll do it, and they have the different stalls set up here. Now on the other side, you'll see some tables and chairs like they're set up for dining. One of our favorite dining establishments through all of Royal Caribbean's fleet, the Cafe at 270. This is a great spot. Open for breakfast and lunch, not for dinner. You see the hours of operation posted there, but this is included with your cruise fare, so you don't have to pay additional for most of the items that you'll find in here. So they have soups, cold sandwiches, hot sandwiches, wraps. See the menu board back there, they'll get you all those different things. They also have pastries that you can grab, and they have a make your own salad bar area over here. Well, they'll make it for you, but you tell them what you want. Now over in this corner you will find a pastry display case. So the pastries you see here are included with your cruise fare, but they also serve specialty coffees and fresh squeezed juice and other drinks here as well. Those are an additional cost. Either you pay them a la carte or you have a beverage package that would cover those, but you can't get those here. Across they do have complimentary beverage station with the regular decaf coffee, the tea packets, hot water, juices, lemonades, things like that. And once you've grabbed your food from the cafe, you can head into 270, a super unique venue, very, very special venue found on Royal Caribbean's Quantum class ships, named for the 270-degree views that you can get here. You see the floor-to-ceiling windows. This is a double-deck venue, so very tall, letting in lots of natural light during the day. You can see out to sea. We're on the very aft of the ship, so you can see the wake view there, and they'll have different kind of performances here as well. Stage shows, you see they're setting up for some live music. They'll play things up on the screens, like live sports or movies. These screens do move on robotic arms, so they can do special presentations for the different shows. And you see you have this kind of like free-flowing style seating, different couches, chairs, little tables, things like that, and it's just spread all throughout here. Over in the corner, beneath that big column with the lights on it, is the bar area. You'll also find stairs to head up to the upper deck. Let's go take a look at that. And as I head over there, I wanted to point out they do have other tables and chairs back here as well, tucked up, where you can sit down and enjoy your food. Cafe 270, enjoy a drink, or watch the show. And here's a better look at the bar space. And now we head up the stairs. So upstairs we will find additional seating. You can see they have it kind of spread out in the different rows here, and it continues on into the middle. And they have a bar rail style seating over in that section, and then one little additional seating area down there below one of the AV booths. Also up here you'll find the entrance to the library, so a nice quiet area to come and read, work. They usually have computers that you can use, and if you need to print something as well. And as we wrap around the corner, you see the different books they have stored in the library that you can use, as well as some cards and other games, things like that. Now you might have noticed this kind of placard thing here, the one I showed a minute ago by the library sign. This is for a game that they have virtually on your mobile device through the Royal Caribbean app. I believe it's called Expedition 270. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a really fun game, free to play on the Royal Caribbean app using these icons here in 270. And while most of the upper deck is accessed via the stairs, either over here where you first come in or over there by the bar that we took up, they do also have an accessible elevator here. Before we exit 270, these are the stairs right by the entrance. You'll see this little sign here. It says the workshop, and I think this is just an area. You see they have the photo up there. I think they sometimes can use this as a photo area. I think it's really just a mixed use space. If they need to store things or do different special event setups, you'll have them in there. All right, proceeding forward on deck 5 here, coming through the midship elevators, and you see the sign Royal Esplanade. So we are going to enter the upper level. We saw the bottom level before, now we have the upper level. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick detour. You can either turn to the starboard or the port sides, hit the little hand button there, glass doors will open, and this is going to take you outside to what I like to call the promenade deck. So it's basically where you can come out, open air. This is where the lifeboats are stored on this ship, but you can actually walk around most of the deck here, kind of front to back, get some fresh air, fresh breeze, nice salt in your face. A little bit rainy right now, and kind of dark and dreary outside, but if you wanted to come out, you can do that and then just proceed up and down the different deck areas. All right, we're gonna head back inside and see the upper deck of the Esplanade. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out this awesome digital art installation here on the upper deck of the Esplanade. Let's turn around. We're gonna go kind of in opposite order. Let's start with the starboard side for the upper deck here. And the first thing we're gonna come across is here the Picture This photo studio. So if you wanna have a professional photo session done, you can schedule that here and also have it done here as well. You can also exit out to that promenade area we talked about before. And then we'll see the fun photo op there for Wonderland Imaginative Cuisine. This is another specialty dining restaurant on board, so it is an additional cost. It is pretty crazy. It's known for its crazy style food. It's not for the faint of heart, but it is an interesting dining experience. You can see like they have the keyhole chairs, the top back chairs there, the mood lighting. It's not a very big restaurant. It's very narrow and kind of just runs along this span here. But if you're in for something crazy, you want to be experimental, this is the place for you. All right, turning back to the port side of the upper deck of the Esplanade here, we will find the shore excursions area. So if you did not book your shore excursions ahead of time, you can book them on board here. They have the different tablets. Just tap your SeaPass card or your WOW band. It'll pull it up and you can purchase those excursions right there. Now next to that, we will find Bionic Bar. For those who don't know, Bionic Bar is a pretty unique space. It is a bar, as the name would suggest, but instead of a typical bartender, you're gonna place your order on a tablet, and these robotic bar makers are gonna make them for you. So whatever you order, the robotic arms will start to get the different drinks from up top, mix them up, shake them up, and then serve them to you right there. It's a really fun, cool experience. It is covered in a refreshment package or a deluxe beverage package. It does not work for diamond drinks, at least as of right now. And you can also get non-alcoholic beverages here. They have quite a selection of that. It's a really cool thing. And they do have kind of bar rail style seating overlooking the Esplanade there, open air to the level below, and then just standard tables and chairs throughout the rest of the space. Now next in line we will find Izumi Japanese cuisine. Now Izumi can mean different things on different ships. It can be hibachi, but on this ship it is just the sushi. I shouldn't say just that, it is outstanding sushi. So they do have the sushi bar there in the back, the regular tables and chairs, but what our recommendation is to request the tables over here if they are available, because you see you get that open air look right back into the Royal Esplanade. A real nice place to have dinner, outstanding food here. This is another specialty dining restaurant, so it is going to come at an additional cost, but we always find it to be well worth it. And proceeding forward on deck 5 here, we will find a Royal Caribbean staple, the Schooner Bar. On every Royal Caribbean ship, it's a nautical, old school themed style bar, usually a piano bar as well. They'll have all kind of different activities in here. Bar centrally located, lots of space. You see they have the piano there. Like I mentioned, it is typically a piano bar, but they'll also do maybe karaoke, trivia. You see they have some kind of event going on in here, so it's very, very busy right now, but a very fun space nonetheless. Now across from that, we will find the entrance to Focus Photo Gallery. So if you've had any professional images taken on board, this is where you can purchase them. And they also sell different kinds of photo equipment. So tap your CPass card or your WOW band, it'll pull up your photos. You can view those and purchase them. They also sell binoculars, which is especially handy for Alaska. And as I mentioned, they will have the different kind of photo accessories. You can get frames here, special kind of frames, towel animal frames, which are really cool. You can even get gimbals, and they usually sell like GoPros. They usually sell these instant print cameras, batteries, different kind of camera accessories here. And here's the GoPro stand where they will sell actual GoPro cameras and GoPro accessories. Now just off the schooner bar, you'll find the entrance to Chops Grill. This is a specialty restaurant as well, so it comes at an additional cost, but this is Royal Caribbean Steakhouse. So if you're looking for a good steak, this is where you want to come. Of course, they have other options as well, like salmon or Maine lobster, different things, chicken, but steak is what they are most known for. Just a quick look inside. So you see they have all the tables and chairs around, and then windows over on the side there. Now proceeding forward, we are entering the forward elevators, and as we pass through these, we will find the upper level entrances to the Royal Theatre, both on the starboard and port side. You'll also find more doors to head outside to that promenade deck. So again, we'll kind of recap here because there was a lot of stuff to see on deck 5. So we started at the midship elevator, came around Jamie's Italian Vintages, those shops, next cruise desk, art gallery, Cafe 270 and 270 itself, and then we came back forward, and then we saw the upper deck of the Esplanade, the picture photo studio there, Wonderland, around shore excursions, Bionic Bar, Izumi, Schooner Bar, then the Focus Photo Gallery, Chops Grill, and then the entrance to the Royal Theatre. So we're done with deck 5, and we're going up to 6. All right, deck 6 is kind of a fun one. It's a little bit tricky. So if we look down at our placard here, we'll see that it just says staterooms. And if we look at our map, we will see that it just says staterooms, except for 270 is technically also on deck 6 because it has that upper level that we saw where the library is as well. But aside from that, it's just staterooms, so there's nothing new to show here. We can go up to deck 7. And now on deck 7, we check our map and we see it is just staterooms going to 8. And now deck 8, once again, we see it is just staterooms, so we're finished here and we will go to deck 9. Tic-tac-toe, it's 3 in a row. Deck 9 is just staterooms as well, so we're done. We'll go to 10. And finally, deck 10 is also just staterooms, but that's where it'll end. You see here on our kind of directory, 6 through 10, basically 6 kind of had some other stuff, but for the most part, 6 through 10 is just staterooms. So that is done with that. Now we will get back to the fun on deck 11. All right, on deck 11 now, and we are at the forward elevators and stairs. As you can see, midship and aft is all just staterooms. The only thing here, deck 11, that is a public area, quote unquote, is Adventure Ocean. So as we turn off of the forward elevators over here on the port side, we will see the entrance to Adventure Ocean, which is 2 decks tall on the ship, by the way. So we'll also be up on deck 12. Now, I'm actually not able to film inside Adventure Ocean. There are kids in there right now, but just so you can see, it's a fun little play area, colorful entrance. And then as you get back here, you'll have the entrances to the different rooms because they are separated by age in the different groups. There's a little playground area in there, fun activities area throughout. And with that covered, we're done with deck 11. 12's up. Deck 12 is almost a mirror image of Deck 11, where most of it is staterooms, but you do have Adventure Ocean, the upper level, here at the forward part of Deck 12. The one exception is, in the aft of Deck 12, you will find the Concierge Club. So if you're staying in a suite or concierge level room, that is the lounge that you will have access to all the way in the back. Now, I will not be able to enter there because I'm not staying in a concierge level room, but I will show you the entrance to it. First though, let's turn here. Again, we're forward, we're heading to the port side, and this is the upper level entrance to Adventure Ocean. So you can see different kind of artwork for this deck. And this upper deck is where we'll find the entrance to the Adventure Science Lab, as well as the Voyager's Playroom and the Explorer's Playroom. And then it's kind of actually open air down to the, there's like a stairwell here, and it's open down to the playground level below. And I'll tell you what, this room is currently empty, so I can kind of show you inside. These are what the different rooms are like. They'll be themed differently based on the different ages, but it's kind of just a big play area where they can do different activities. The science lab is also empty right now, so we'll get a quick look inside of there. So there's the upper deck entrance to Adventure Ocean. Now I'm going to walk all the way down the stateroom halls, and I mean all the way to the back to show you the entrance to the Concierge Club. And while I'm making this long walk, I'll take this time to tell you that we are travel agents. Our services are completely free. We never charge any fees or costs whatsoever, and we sell more Royal Caribbean than anything else. It is like 80% of our business. So if you're interested in booking a Royal Caribbean cruise, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give you some more information about our travel agency. And to put in perspective how far back this is, these are the midship elevators and stairs, and now we're still walking back. So there's the other entrance to the elevators and stairs, and now I have to keep going all the way back. The moment is now, unless the moment is getting to the concierge lounge, because we're still not there, but we're almost there. See the brown wood at the end? That's it. So the first thing you'll notice here is the interchangeable terminology. It said concierge lounge on the map. It says suite lounge here outside. It means the same thing though. If you're staying in a suite, you would just tap in right here, and then you would be able to enter the lounge area. And they have the concierge desk here as you come inside. They were nice enough to let me come in and get a quick shot. See all the tables, chairs, couches, lounges, big floor to ceiling windows all the way around. A really nice lounge space to come and relax. One thing I wanted to point out, I entered from the starboard side, but you can also enter from the port side. Both of them are back here. They just have those doors closed in the middle, but those can open up. Either way, you can access the lounge. All right, so a nice surprise there, being able to film inside of the Concierge Club, or the Suite Lounge, as it said, outside. And with that, we are done with deck 12. But one thing I want to point out, this is a good spot to do it as any. If you were at the forward elevators, you'll see that it's just one bay. It's a bay of 6 elevators that you access from the middle part. But if you're at the midship elevators and stairs, you can see that the actual middle part is where the elevators are 6, and then you have an additional 2 on the perimeter of each side. So you'll actually access those from the appropriate side, either starboard or port. So again, forward is just to have access from the middle, the 6 elevators, but when you're at the midship elevators, you actually have a total of 10 that you access from the various sides. And with that, we're done with deck 12. Let's head up to 13. And yes, there is a deck 13 on board Quantum of the Seas. A lot of cruise ships don't do deck 13 out of superstition, but this one does have it. So what we're going to find here is that I get to walk all the way back to the back end of the ship again to show you the entrance to the conference center, which is right above the suite lounge. Other than that, there's really not too much to see on this deck. It's just a lot of staterooms, as we see here on our directory. So let's head back, I guess. While we walk back, I will tell you the conference center is used as a conferral space. Imagine that, a space where you can gather. If you're here with a group, you have some kind of private event going on, you can usually use that space for different kind of events. Like if you want to, we hosted a themed trivia on our first ever group cruise in that space. But if you're traveling like with a conference, or even just some kind of fun affinity group or different promotional group or things like that, usually they will use the conference center space to have a kind of gathering, distribute information, things like that. All right, so all the way back here, see the sign says Conference Center. So they do have a set of restrooms here, by the way. I haven't been pointing out public restrooms, but since those are here, and you'll see the entrance to the different rooms. They have the names up on each one: Radiance, Brilliance. Oh, so they're named after the Radiance class ships. That's cool. So what do we have? Jewel and Serenade over here. In fact, we do. Jewel and Serenade. So you enter the different conference rooms here and do your different activities inside. And with the entrance to the conference center covered, we are done with deck 13. Let's go to 14. But instead of heading up the normal boring stairs like I usually would, let's take these fun middle stairs located between the 2 midship elevator bays. And the reason this one is so fun is once you get to this platform, it is a glass floor. And you can look all the way down to that bridge that goes into the Royal Esplanade. Super fun. And then it's just a normal stairwell once again. All right, deck 14, and this is where all the action is happening. There are a ton of things to see here. We are at the midship elevators and stairs. So the first thing is on the port side, you'll see the entrance to the living room, which is the teen space on board. I can't go in there and film that, but I actually did film it from the outside the other day, so you can kind of see inside. It's just a little cool hangout spot for the teenagers, TV, video games, loungers, things like that. And now that we have that covered, we will proceed in, if I dare, into the Windjammer Marketplace, which is the buffet on board. So yes, the Windjammer, the buffet on board for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They will have their hours of operation posted right here daily. And this is included with your cruise fare. And I've decided to come into the buffet at the busiest time of day, which is breakfast. But it's the standard Windjammer setup. So they're gonna have floor-to-ceiling windows all around the perimeter, as well as seating around the perimeter. And then the interior is where they're gonna have the food and drink stations. So starting with right when you come in here, this center area will be a specialty coffee bar. So you can even get some Starbucks items and different things like that here. And then, as I mentioned, they will have all the food service sections in the middle. Of course, this will rotate throughout the day based on whether you're having breakfast, lunch, or dinner as to what they are serving, but all of those will be centrally located here with the seating outside on the perimeter. You'll also find various beverage stations set up throughout the buffet area. And both sides are pretty much a mirror image. Whether you walk down the starboard side like I am, or you walk back down the port side, you're gonna get the same thing. Food on the inside. For the most part, they will have these little sections sometimes that are out on the outside, but mostly it's gonna be food on the inside, seating on the outside, the floor-to-ceiling windows all the way back. But there's something very special to be found all the way at the back of the restaurant. So as we arrive towards the back, you can cut back in through the middle, go to the other side, or you can actually step outside. Yes, not every Royal Caribbean ship has this. The Radiance class has it. Quantum class ships have it as well, an outdoor dining section, and this one is covered, though the wind is kind of blowing the rain in, so you can actually grab your food and drinks from the Windjammer, come outside and enjoy what typically is a beautiful view. Right now, that's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I guess, but it is a great place to get that fresh open air. One thing I will point out, something kind of random, is that you will sometimes get soot on the tables that's coming from the exhaust from the funnel stack. When it blows back, sometimes you get a backdraft and it will actually get on the table, so it can get on your food. You want to be careful of that, and also on your clothes because it will stain them. But with that, we have covered the Windjammer. Let's head back inside and finish up the rest of deck 14. Before we exit the Windjammer, I wanted to point out that there is a Coke Freestyle machine here, so if you have any of the beverage packages, you will get the souvenir refillable tumbler, and you can use those at the Freestyle machines. They have them here. They also have them at Sorrento's. Those are the two locations I know of offhand. And as we exit the Windjammer buffet, we will find the entrance to Coastal Kitchen. Now, this is a special restaurant just for suite guests. If you are staying in the Royal Suite class level, you will have access here. You see the sign, Sea, Sky, and Star. So this is a special restaurant just for those people staying in those suites, as well as Pinnacle members. You can dine inside of this complimentary restaurant. We'll just take a quick look. Oh, thank you so much. They're gonna let us take a look inside. How kind. So there we go. Very nice. The dark woods, and you got the floor-to-ceiling windows all around the side there, serving up some delicious food inside Coastal Kitchen. All right, let's get ourselves reoriented here. So we started here at the midship elevators. We kind of came around, living room, did the Windjammer, the outdoor seating section, Coastal Kitchen. Now this says Splashaway Cafe, but that is not correct. Let's actually step out here. First, check out the cool retro pinball machine, just for decoration. But let's step out here, out onto the open air pool deck. And we will turn and see that this has actually become a noodles, dim sum, milk tea little restaurant, and I believe this is included with your cruise fare. We have not had the opportunity to dine here yet, though we are definitely planning to. Oh, so no, some stuff does come at additional cost. Okay, so it is Splashaway Cafe. I don't know. I thought they were calling it something different. Don't listen to what I say. This does say Splashaway Cafe, but you can see that they have these different Asian style offerings that are specialty. Those cost additional. They do have some complimentary items, chicken tenders, mini hot dog, and chocolate chip cookies here available for you. I also see ice cream cones there, so I guess they're serving up some of that. And there's a beverage station inside as well. So they do have a couple of tables and chairs in here that are covered under the beautiful lanterns. And then they have some that are also covered, but kind of more outside in the open air at the entrance to the eatery. And that takes us right out onto the pool deck. Now, I usually like to film the pool deck from up above, give you the bird's eye view. So I'm gonna head up one deck right there so we can have a good look. And actually, I found this nice big window inside, so this will work just well so I can stay out of the mist and the rain. So right when we come out, we'll see this fun little splash play area. Of course, they have it roped off right now, but a great spot for the kiddos or those who don't want to get into deeper water, splash around and enjoy. You see the freshwater showers on either side. And then we have the main pool in the center there. It does have kind of like the shallow shelves. You can see the lifeguard is actually standing up on one of those. So it has the shallow shelves on either side, and then the deeper section right in the middle. And you do have your sun loungers all around the deck, and you'll also have them tucked up where they're covered from the sun deck up above. And those continue the entire span. Then there in the middle, you will see the sky bar. So it's basically like your pool bar. You get your drinks for the pool area, and you're gonna have all of that. Now, as you see beyond the main pool in between there and the sky bar. You'll see a hot tub on this side as well as on this side. So that's basically your main pool area. The only other thing is the Jumbotron, the big screen up there. Sometimes they'll show movies, sometimes they'll show nature scenes. It just depends on what's going on throughout the day, but you're gonna have all of that right there. And again, both sides will pretty much have the same thing going on. Loungers, different seating areas. I will say one side, I believe it's the port side if I'm not mistaken, is the smoking section, and that'll be designated, and they'll have the ashtrays out there as well. And as I proceed down the pool deck here, I also want to point out they do have complimentary life vests, personal flotation devices here that you can use if you need those. In addition to the sun loungers, you'll also find some nice couches, kind of daybed style seating. Again, covered under here, you're covered from the elements, and you do have the floor to ceiling windows to look out from. All right, continuing here on the starboard side, we will see this just looks like nothing, but is actually the soft serve ice cream location. I believe it's called Sprinkles on this ship. I might be wrong though. But this is usually, they'll have this open, come up, tell them which flavor you want, and they will get you that soft serve in a cone right there, included with your cruise fare. And now as we proceed forward here, we're going to enter a very unique area for Quantum class ships. So if you're familiar with Royal Caribbean ships, you probably know about the solarium, which is an enclosed area that has pools and hot tubs, but it's only for adults. Well, technically 16 and older. However, on Quantum class ships, they have this area just before the solarium. This is the indoor pool, and this is actually open to all ages. They have a pool bar there in the middle, and then they have the pool area actually in the very center of the room. And as you can see, it's indoors, so it's completely enclosed, but you do have the glass panel, so you're getting all the natural light coming in. They have hot tubs on either side as well. It's a really nice spot if you want to get out of the elements and have all ages be able to enjoy it. And here's a better look at the actual pool space. Looks like it's just over 5 feet deep. Before we exit the indoor pool area and head into the solarium, we will find the towel stations. This is where you can check out towels complimentary. Just make sure you keep track of them, because if you lose them, you may be charged for them. Now we will head into the solarium, and as you can see, the sign there does say adult area ahead, yes, 16 plus welcome. So you cannot come in here if you are under 16 years old. So it's basically going to act as an extension of the indoor pool area. It's going to be completely covered, completely enclosed. Now they can open up windows to get fresh air going through. They do not have that open right now because it's cold and rainy and windy, but sometimes they will do that. So there's gonna be lounge chairs all throughout, day beds, half dome beds like this over here on the side, all throughout the space. It's gonna pump in some nice fresh air. It's basically like a spa in here. Very humid, but in a good way. In the middle section is where all the action is happening. You will have this tiered pool system, so you can get in at the top tier. It flows down to the next level, all the way down to the bottom. You're gonna have the freshwater showers on either side, as well as hot tubs down at the bottom, so you can enjoy the view straight out the front of the ship, because the floor-to-ceiling windows, and all the way to the ceiling, I do mean, continue all the way throughout. Lounge chairs all the way around, and then here in the center, you will find the sunshine bar, so you can get all your drinks here for your solarium enjoyment. Now over on the port side, we will find the entrance to the Solarium Bistro. This is a complimentary dining venue included with your cruise fare. As you can see, they're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's kind of a mix between a buffet and table service. So they have the seating all throughout. They're gonna have the buffet area here, centrally located, where you can get like your appetizers or your tapas-style food or whatever you may have, and then you'll actually order your main course with a server who will bring that to you. They also have a beverage station in here as well. So you get the foods here from the buffet, have a seat, and the server will bring out the rest of the food to you. I have now exited the solarium on the port side back in the indoor pool area. One thing I wanted to point out is that they have Tide Trail adventure gear here. So if you're looking for things like snorkels, binoculars, cameras, they will also sell that inside of this shop at various points throughout the cruise. And inside at the forward elevators and stairs, I wanted to point out that there's also an official entrance to the Solarium Bistro. I'd say official, it kind of just looks more official. They actually usually want you entering from where we did, from the solarium area. And once again, we'll do a quick recap since there was a lot to see here. So we started here, living room, windjammer, coastal kitchen, Splashway Cafe. Came out and saw the pool deck area with the sky bar. Came into the interior pool area, the inside pool area with its bar, where it says Patty. That's that little shop that I just showed a minute ago. And then came into the solarium, saw all that area, the Sunshine Bar and the Solarium Bistro. So we were done with deck 14 and we are going to 15. All right, deck 15 here. And if you've been to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, you know how they like to split it between chill and thrill. Deck 15 is kind of the same way. we're at the forward part. That's where we're going to find the Vitality Spa and Salon. The chill, the rest of the deck is going to be all the thrill. So let's turn to the starboard side and we find the entrance to the Vitality Spa and Salon. So if you're looking for a spa treatment, hair treatment, nails, things like that, you want to purchase different beauty items, this is where you will do that. And now as we head back, we will proceed outside, kinda, not just yet. We're now on the upper deck of the indoor pool area. So this is a great place to get a bird's eye view of how this area is laid out. But now we will turn and actually, oh, it's raining. I don't want to go outside right now. Oh boy. Let's see, is it bad? Yeah, we're gonna wait on that. All right, so I'm gonna change course here. Since it's raining, I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of tell you about this outside area of deck 15 from inside here. Then I'm gonna proceed forward to where it's actually covered and we can talk about the rest. So this forward part of deck 15 on the outside, as you can actually see right here, is actually the jogging track. So they have the different distances posted as you go along. And it actually goes around the front of the ship too. So it kind of has a little hump in the front and you can look out the very forward part of the ship, which is really cool. And that just continues around. Now a lot of the times they will have these sun loungers spread out as well. It's kind of like the sun deck, but with the weather the way it is right now, they've opted not to do that. I'm going to run quickly through this rain and go right over to that spiral staircase so we can talk about our next feature of the ship. All right, luckily I was able to find some coverage here from the rain. I want to turn around and talk about our next big feature of this ship, at least typically, which is the North Star. Now I say typically as the North Star is closed due to maintenance and we don't know how long this will be. Our sailing departed on September 4th, 2023. From what we've heard, it's going to be closed for the next several sailings as well until they have a time to really get in there and work on it. So if you have an upcoming sailing on Quantum of the Seas, just be advised that the North Star may be closed. But if it is operating, what is the North Star for those who don't know? So you see that little pod there, it's actually attached to a robotic arm and it will lift you high up into the air, several stories above the ship, and give you panoramic views. You can see the rest of the ship. You can see out to sea if you're doing it on a day at sea. If you're in port, you can see the different port that you're in. Now, this used to always be complimentary. Some sessions still are complimentary, and they've started offering extended sessions that go up higher, stretch out further, and last longer for a charge. So you'll want to check on your sailing if you're able to reserve that, if it's going to be free for the different sessions, or if it's going to be one of the charged ones. Make sure you have the right thing. If you do have a North Star reservation though, this is where you will report to. You see they have the height indicators, all the necessary information there. It is a spiral staircase up to get onto it, but they do have an accessible lift here should you need it. And that's going to take you right up there to that platform right there. And then you'll actually walk across and board into the vessel, and then it lifts up. You can see it's kind of hooked like a U there, and that's attached to the arm that lifts way up in the air so you can get those beautiful views. And just beyond the entrance to the North Star, we have the North Star bar. So pretty self-explanatory. It is a bar space here. Grab your drinks, and they do have some kind of like lounge space and seating all throughout there so you can get a view of the pool deck or watch people going up on the North Star. Well, kind of. If you're sitting there, you really won't be able to see it that much, but you at least get a view of the rest of the ship. All right, the rain has let up a little bit, so I can stop here and give you a better showing of the North Star. So you can see the actual arm there attached. So it's got like a hinge there, and it raises all the way up in the air. It can come out over the side of the ship. It can turn around and go backwards. It can do all kinds of different things. And then here's just a view of what it looks like when you're on the walking / running / jogging track, or if you were to be grabbing a sun lounger and relaxing, taking in the views. And for reference point, they do have a map here of the running track around the sports deck. So like I mentioned, it does go kind of around the front there, on that little hump, and you can actually see out to the forward part. Has all the distances listed there and summarized in this chart. All right, inside on deck 15 now. So we saw the spa at the front, then we saw the North Star, kind of the sun deck area up above, and now we are in the back area here. So we're going to enter into the Seaplex section. Now before we go into the Seaplex area, I wanted to point out you'll see the entrance to the suite sun deck here. So if you're staying in a suite level cabin, you'll be able to tap right there and go through to the sun deck. And I'll step back outside here quickly just to show you where that is. So you come up right there, and then you just have the suite sun deck all around there, looking back over the pool area and over to the North Star. And just next to the entrance to the suite sun deck, we will see fuel. Now, fuel is usually labeled as a team disco, but they actually typically use the space for other things, like an escape room. Now, it won't be a fully fleshed out escape room like you might see on some Voyager or Oasis class ships. It'll kind of be a makeshift one, but we've done this on Anthem of the Seas and it was actually a lot of fun. So it's just we can't really go inside, they have it closed off here, but it's just kind of a multi-use space they'll use for different things like that. not too much to see. But real quick, here's the entrance vestibule area to fuel, and then if they're doing that escape room or the other activities, they open up the door there. And with that, we are ready to now enter the Seaplex area, one of the most unique places you can find on any cruise ship. So now we've entered into the Seaplex, and they're doing our favorite activity, bumper cars right now. As you can see, they have the different cars out there. These bumper cars pack a punch. These are not your standard carnival or fair bumper cars. These are the best bumper cars you could possibly ever do. You can really hit someone, and it's really cool. They have this little robotic arm. They have the DJ up there playing the different tunes. So this Seaplex is a multi-use space. Right now it's bumper cars, but it can be a lot of different things. They have basketball in here. They can have tennis, soccer, pickleball, different things like that. Sometimes archery set up. Roller skating is an option sometimes that you can do in here. Lots of fun to be had inside of the Seaplex. Bumper cars is probably the feature item that you can do though. So you see here they have the desk over to the side where you need to check in if you have any questions about activities. You do that there. And there's stairs that actually go up because there's 2 decks to the Seaplex. We'll get to the upper deck in just a bit. Okay, I lied. I went ahead and came up to the top deck. The bottom deck is kind of closed off for the line for the bumper cars right now, so I kind of needed to come up here to show you. They just have some lounge spaces down at the bottom. There is a restaurant down at the bottom we'll get to just in a minute. But up top here, they have additional seating space as well as some fun games. So up top deck here, they will also have a ping pong section, a couple ping pong tables, and they will also have an Xbox lounge where you can come in and play different Xbox games. On the Xbox One, they have several video game stations set up in here, free for you to play with. And across on the other side, you can see they have additional ping pong tables set up, and all of these bays have floor-to-ceiling windows, letting that natural light come in. Over on this section, they actually have like kind of a little small arcade area. There's a couple of foosball tables, as well as some air hockey tables, a lane master bowling, different things like that. Now those arcade games do come at an additional cost, so you would need to pay for those. Something good to point out here, most of the upper deck of the Seaplex is accessed using stairs, but they do have an accessible elevator here in the back on the starboard side. Now over at the forward part of the Seaplex on the starboard side, there's also an access point to the Suite Sun deck. So if you want to access it from here, you can do that as well. Now on the starboard side of the Seaplex, you'll find the entrance to the arcade. Get the credits right there at the machine. If you have not pre-purchased them, you can pre-purchase arcade credits on My Royal Cruise section of Royal Caribbean's online account, and you'll actually get a 20% discount for purchasing arcade credits ahead of your cruise. They do have a prize hub in here, so you will collect digital tickets tracked on your SeaPass card that you can redeem for different prizes inside the arcade. And they have additional seating in the back side on the starboard side, as well as some cornhole. Now on the port side, at the back side of the Seaplex, you will find the Seaplex Doghouse. Now this is included with your cruise fare. Great place to come and get a hot dog and get it on a classic bun, and everything bun. They have different styles too. Regular hot dog, chicken and apple sausage, smoked Bavarian bratwurst, Sicilian pork sausage, different toppings and sides that you can get included with your cruise fare. They also have some beers and different specialty drinks if you have a package or if you want to purchase it a la carte. And they also have a Coke Freestyle machine to use with those packages here as well. So we've stepped outside of the Seaplex now, and you can see the actual glass for those different bays that I was talking about, the different activities there. And they do have lounge chairs underneath all of those on both sides. As we pass the bus facade for the Seaplex Doghouse, we will find a shuffleboard court, and then this will wrap around to all the different thrill activities on the back side of the ship. Starting with the Flow Rider, which of course is the surf simulator that you can find on board Royal Caribbean ships. Sometimes they'll have stand-up surfing like that, or they'll have boogie board on your knees. So there's only one Flow Rider, but it's located centrally here on the back side of the ship, and they do have the stadium-style seating for viewing. I've actually come up from the deck we were on. You can see the jogging track back down there, but that just wraps around. We have a nice viewpoint of the aft and the wing. And the other thing to point out here is Ripcord by iFly. This is an indoor skydive simulator, and you can see they're actually doing it right now. So it's a big tube with a giant fan at the bottom that propels you upward by using massive gusts of wind to keep your body up, and it simulates the act of skydiving. Now this is just like the North Star. It used to always be complimentary. Then they started having some sessions complimentary, some sessions you had to pay extra for, all that good stuff. So you want to check that for your cruise. I will show you the sign-in and check-in desk for that in just a second, but this is where they will actually bring you up once you're geared up and suited up to do your skydiving experience. So back on deck 15 there, you can see the Seaplex back there. This is the office area for the flow rider. So if you're trying to do the flow rider or sign up for that, that's where you will go in here on the port side. Now we're gonna walk around to the back. Again, it's just a kind of a viewing area back here of the wake. We're gonna head over to the starboard side, and that's where you'll check in for ripcord. You'll see this stairwell here. This actually takes you back down to the windjammer, to the outdoor seating section of the buffet. But as we continue back forward here, again on starboard side now, you'll see the sign says Flow Rider, so this is where you actually go up to do it. That's where we were just standing to film it. And then you will see the Ripcord by iFly signage here. This is the actual office where you will go in, check in for your reservation, make a reservation if you didn't already. If you have the option to reserve this before your cruise, highly recommend doing so. If not, do it on boarding day. It will sell out. You'll want to get that in ASAP. So check in there. They'll take you in the room, show you the video, get you suited up with the helmet and the suit and all that good stuff, and then take you up so you can actually do your skydive simulation. Next to Ripcord by iFly, we find the rock climbing walls, and rock climbing is included with your cruise fare, so no worries there. Just come and sign up, sign your waiver or whatever you have to do, and then climb your way to the top and ring the bell, and then say hello to Barry. That's what I've named the giant statue. Quantum class ships feature giant statues here on the starboard side outside of the Seaplex. One has a cat, one has a giraffe. I have named this one Barry because it's a bear. Barry's a name, and it's color like a berry. I just like it. Say hi to him. And as I mentioned, both sides, starboard and port, underneath these like viewing areas where they have all the different activities in the Seaplex, they do have the sun loungers or mist and rain loungers. And now we have completed deck 15 in its entirety, so we are done here and we are going up to 16. But something important to point out, I am currently at the midship elevators and stairs, and as you can see, it just says 15 on this side because 16 in the back aft part of the ship is just the upper deck of the Seaplex and the ripcord area, which we already did. So all we're actually going to do is walk across 15 to go back to the forward part. That is where we'll find deck 16. All right, deck 16, our final deck. And again, we've covered this stuff that would technically kind of be on 16 in the back, so really we only have the forward part of the deck to show. And there's really just one thing to see here. It is the Vitality Fitness Center. So right off the forward elevators and stairs, we turn to the port side of the ship and find the entrance to the fitness center. So fresh towels right when you enter, and they will have some consultation areas and rooms here as well. And a scale, do your body mass index, all those different things, and then you'll actually enter the fitness area, treadmills, the floor-to-ceiling windows, all the way around. All your standard workout equipment will be found in here. It actually looks out the front of the ship too. They'll have some different presentations, maybe giveaways there at the forward part where they have the chairs set up, and the machines, dumbbells, yoga mats, exercise balls all throughout. And they'll also offer different classes and different presentation things that you can sign up for here as well. And real quick, just to kind of hammer this home, just to make sure we're all clear, the fitness center is really the only thing here on deck 16. The rest of the stuff you see, it says access from deck 15 for the North Star, access from deck 15 for the upper decks of the Seaplex, not Seaple, misprint there, or ripcord, access from deck 15, flow rider, access from deck 15. So all that stuff you will actually get to from deck 15. The only thing you will get to here on deck 16 is the Vitality Fitness Center, and we've covered that, so we are done. Well, there you have it, friends. That is our tour of Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas. What a fun ship it is. We're having a blast. Again, if you're interested in seeing more activities around the ship, our daily videos from the Seattle area before the cruise, our daily videos in Alaska and all of our excursions, and our room tour, special secret room tour, be sure to check out all of the videos in our Quantum of the Seas /Alaska playlist. And as I mentioned earlier, we are travel agents. Our services are completely free to you. We never charge any fees or costs whatsoever. It will not be a single cent more to book with us than it would be direct booking on your own, and you'll get great service along the way. So please feel free to reach out via that travel agent information. You can find it in the description of this video. If you've recently booked your Royal Caribbean cruise within the past 30 days and you're not yet paid in full, you can transfer your booking to our agency free of charge, and then we'll be able to assist you the rest of the way. Helps us as a small business and allows us to continue making helpful videos for others. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us for today's video, but we're signing off. We'll see you next time. Happy travels!